Hello students, how are you? I hope you are all safe. So today's class we shall see unit 11 hydroxy compounds. So last class video I have taught the topic ethers from unit 11. So as you have not got the second volume book, you refer your focus guide and study the unit 11 lesson. So study all the questions given in focus guide for unit 11 because you don't have the second volume book. So I want you, already I have told you to purchase the focus guide for volume 1 and volume 2. So I want you to study all the questions from the focus guide for the topic ethers from unit 11 and also hydroxy compounds what I am going to teach now. So last video lesson we have seen unit 11 topic ethers. So study the questions from ether in your focus guide. As you have not got the second volume book, study from your focus guide. So today's class we shall see another topic in unit 11, hydroxy compounds. So hydroxy means from the word hydroxy, the functional group for hydroxy is OH group. You know that the hydroxy compound has the functional group OH. So the organic compounds which contain OH as the functional group, they are called as hydroxy compounds. So based on the number of OH group present, alcohols are classified into. So OH is the functional group for hydroxy group which is called the alcohol. So based on the number of hydroxy group present, alcohols they are classified into three types. One is monohydrate where the number of OH group is 1, and dihydrate where the number of OH group is 2, and polyhydric. So more than OH group if it is present for a compound, that particular alcohol is called as polyhydric alcohols. So now we are going to see the structure of functional group OH present in alcohol. So here the structure of OH group in alcohol is attached to a sp3 hybridized carbon. So one s orbital, 3p orbital, they combine to form sp3 hybrid orbitals which is called sp3. So here the carbon present is found to be sp3 hybridized, which is similar to the structure of OH group attached to hydrogen atom in water. So in water there is a OH group attached to hydrogen. So here also similar to water, the OH group is found to be similar to the OH group attached to hydrogen. There is the carbon which is present is sp3 hybridized. So in this case there is sp3 hybrid orbital of oxygen that linearly overlap with sp3 hybrid orbital of carbon to form a carbon-oxygen sigma bond. So sigma bond is always formed when there is a linear overlap of orbitals. So when there is a linear overlap of orbitals, it will lead to the formation of a sigma bond. So here sp3 hybrid orbital of oxygen, they overlap with the sp3 hybrid orbital of carbon to form a carbon-oxygen sigma bond. Another sp3 hybrid orbital, they linearly overlap with 1s orbital of hydrogen to form a OH sigma bond. The remaining two sp3 hybrid orbital of oxygen, they are occupied by two lone pair of electrons. So remaining two sp3 hybrid orbitals of oxygen, they are occupied by two lone pair of electrons. So here there is, due to the lone pair of electrons present on the oxygen, what happens? There is a lone pair repulsion. So there is a repulsion as a result of lone pair repulsion in the OH group, the carbon OH group. The bond angle present in alcohol, mainly methanol. So COH bond angle in methanol, it is reduced to 108.9 degree from tetrahedral bond angle of 109.5. So the COH bond angle in alcohol, especially methanol, it is found to be, the bond angle is found to be less than that of the tetrahedral bond angle of 109.5, which is found to be 108.9 degree. So next we shall, these are all introduction what you have to know. So always in a OH functional group OH is, so functional group of alcohol is always OH group where there is a carbon also present which leads to, as a result of lone pair of electrons in oxygen, there will be a formation, there is a linear overlap with the carbon which leads to the formation of carbon-oxygen sigma bond. This you should know, and you should be familiar with the bond angle in alcohol 108.9. So this I want you have to go through so that any question asked in one word you can answer. So next one is preparation of alcohols. First preparation is hydroboration. So it is an important 2-mark question. Write notes on hydroboration. Otherwise they will ask what is hydroboration. So diborane reacts with an alkene to form trialkyl borane, which on treatment with hydrogen peroxide in presence of sodium hydroxide gives alcohol. So here diborane they react with alkene. Alkene is propene. So propene reacts with diborane. B2H6 is called as diborane, which on treatment with hydrogen peroxide in presence of sodium hydroxide will give rise to alcohol. So we shall see the equation now. So here when the propane, when the alkane, there is propene, when it reacts with diborane, it forms trialkyl borane. So trialkyl borane again reacts with hydrogen peroxide in presence of base sodium hydroxide to form propanol, which is called as propanol. So the name of the alcohol is found to be propanol. So remaining is boron trioxide. So the remaining BOH is boron trihydroxide. OH group is hydroxide. So boron trihydroxide. So it is an important, very important question. What is hydroboration? Write notes on hydroboration. So next one is preparation. Next method of preparation is of alcohol is ethylene glycol. So here hydroxylation of ethylene glycol using cold alkaline solution of potassium permanganate. So cold alkaline solution of potassium permanganate is called as Bayes reagent. So it gives ethylene glycol. So ethylene on hydroxylation is nothing but addition of water in presence of the oxidizing agent like KMnO4. It forms ethylene glycol. So next one is glycerol. We have seen the preparation of ethylene glycol so far. Next one is glycerol. So glycerol, it occurs in many natural fats and long chain fatty acid in the form of glyceryl ester, which is called as triglyceride. So alkaline hydrolysis of these fats, that is fats that occur in the natural long chain of fatty acid. So they are called as fats. So alkaline hydrolysis of fats gives glycerol, which is called as saponification reaction. So it may be asked what is saponification. So glycerol, which contains natural fats which exist in the form of long chain fatty acid in the form of, they are in the form of glyceryl esters, and the hydrolysis, alkaline hydrolysis of these fats, they give glycerol, which is called as saponification. So this may be asked in one word. So far we have seen the preparation of two alcohols, ethylene glycol, glycerol, and that is primary alcohol we have seen. So that also we go through. So next one is properties of alcohol. They have high boiling point. The lower members of the alcohol are always soluble in water. Lower members means methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol. They are called as lower members of alcohol, which are soluble in water. They have high boiling point. They are colorless liquid, and they exist even as waxy solid. So now coming to the chemical properties, we shall see the nucleophilic substitution reactions of alcohol. So nucleophilic substitution reaction is nothing but attack of a nucleophile. There is nucleophile, it will attack an alkyl halide. So that is called nucleophilic substitution. So which is being substituted by the nucleophile present in the alkyl halide. So alcohol, they are strong basic leaving group. Generally they are the strong basic leaving group. OH group is first converted to OH2 group by adding an acid. So when you add an acid, OH group, alcohol group is converted into OH2. So the OH2 group is protonated, and protonated alcohol can be displaced by a nucleophile bromide ion to give alkyl halide. So we shall see an example for nucleophilic substitution reaction. So here there is an attack of a nucleophile. So a nucleophile here is the halide ion. So there is attack of the halide ion. The attack of halide ion occurs in the primary alcohol. So primary alcohol undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction with hydrohalic acid to form alkyl halide. So hydrohalic acid may be hydrogen bromide, hydrogen iodide, hydrogen chloride, or hydrogen fluoride. So they are called as hydrohalic acid. So primary alcohol, ethyl alcohol, they react with hydrohalic acid where one molecule of water is removed, and here the OH group is substituted by the nucleophile bromide ion, by the halide ion. So here bromide ion is the halide ion. So the nucleophilic attack, there is a nucleophilic attack by the halide ion by the alcohol, primary alcohol. So primary alcohol, they undergo nucleophilic substitution by the attack reaction by attack of nucleophile, where there is a removal of water molecule and the OH group is displaced by halide ion, here bromide ion. So the product which you get is ethyl bromide, CH3CH2Br, which is called as ethyl bromide, or IUPAC name is bromoethane. Yeah. We are going to see how primary alcohols mechanism for the primary alcohols that undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction. So always the primary alcohols, they undergo a mechanism by SN2 mechanism, which is called as nucleophilic substitution bimolecular reaction. Bimolecular mechanism. Nucleophilic substitution bimolecular mechanism, which is called as SN2. So primary alcohols undergo SN2 mechanism, which occurs only in a single step. So here we are going to see the mechanism for the above reaction. It is ethyl alcohol. So here attack of the nucleophile, where there is an attack of nucleophile by the carbon atom having less number of hydrogen atoms. So here, which is called as the less sterically hindered. It is called as less sterically hindered, which means that carbon atom containing less number of hydrogen atoms. So there is an attack of the halide ion to the less hindered side, where the carbon atom has least number of hydrogen atoms. So there is an attack here. There are 3 hydrogen atoms, whereas here there are only 2 hydrogen atoms, where there is an attack by the halide ion towards the carbon atom having less number of hydrogen atoms, and as a result there is a elimination of water molecule. So water molecule is being removed, or it is being eliminated. So as a result we get ethyl bromide or bromoethane with the removal of elimination of water molecule. So here in SN2 mechanism of primary alcohols, they undergo only SN2 mechanism. So nucleophilic attack of the bromide and leaving of water molecule takes place simultaneously. So always SN2 mechanism occurs only in single step. So there will be a nucleophilic attack of bromide ion and removal of water molecule in primary alcohols, where the nucleophile is being substituted by the nucleophilic attack there is a nucleophilic attack of bromide ion and leaving of the water molecule. So on the other hand, tertiary alcohols, they follow SN1 mechanism. So primary alcohols always undergo SN2 mechanism, which is called as nucleophilic substitution bimolecular reaction. And on the other hand, tertiary alcohol, they follow SN1 mechanism, which is called as nucleophilic substitution unimolecular reaction. It occurs in 2 steps. So here there are 2. So always SN mechanism, SN2 mechanism occurs in 1 step, whereas SN1 mechanism, they follow 2 steps. So first step we have taken the propyl alcohol, which is tertiary alcohol here, and there is an attack of the nucleophile, which is being shown in the reaction here. As a result, what will happen? In HBr, hydrogen will go and attack here, where there is a hydrogen atom, there is protonation of the tertiary alcohol. So as a result we get OHH. So there is a protonation which is being present in the hydrohalic acid, so which is hydrogen bromide. So in the slow, this is a step where is an attack of the, so here the tertiary alcohol, there is an attack of the nucleophile to the carbon side, where there is a first there is a protonation. Protonation attack of the nucleophile. So here we get a intermediate product, and here there is a slow step. So what will happen? The slow step, there is a removal of water molecule, and again in the next step is a fast step, where is an attack of the nucleophile. So nucleophile bromide ion gets attached to the alkyl group, that is propyl group. Methyl, ethyl, propyl group. So as a result, the product obtained is 2-bromo-2-methyl propane. So in the first step, is removal of water molecule. Second step is, which is a fast step, where there is a attack of the nucleophile halide ion by the carbon. So always primary alcohol undergoes SN2 mechanism, which occurs in a single step, whereas tertiary alcohol undergo SN1 mechanism, which occurs in 2 steps. So the saponification process, already I told you. So here oil or fat, they combine with water, it undergo hydrolysis to form glycerol and fatty acid. So yeah, this glycerol is also one kind of alcohol. Ethylene glycol is another type of alcohol. So ethylene glycol is a dihydric alcohol, whereas glycerol is a trihydric alcohol, which means that there are 3 OH groups. Yeah. So glycerol is one of the trihydric alcohol which contains 3 OH group. Yeah. So this process of hydrolysis of oil or fat to form glycerol and fatty acid is called as saponification. So next one we are going to see how to distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. So first method to differentiate primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol is Lucas test. So here alcohols are treated with Lucas reagent, which is a mixture of corn HCl and anhydrous zinc chloride. So at room temperature we are treating alcohol with the Lucas reagent, that is a mixture of corn HCl and anhydrous zinc chloride. So tertiary alcohol, they react immediately to form a turbid solution. So this is to a so turbidity mean ennatham. So adukku kalanda solution ah irukum. Seri adha turbidity adukka irukum. Seri adu so tertiary alcohols are treated with Lucas reagent, which is a Lucas reagent is a mixture of corn HCl and zinc chloride. So what happens? Tertiary alcohols, they form turbidity. They become turbid in nature due to the formation of alkyl chloride which is insoluble. So yeah, the secondary alcohols, they react within 10 minutes with the Lucas reagent to form turbid solution of alkyl chloride, whereas primary alcohols do not react with Lucas agent at room temperature. So yeah, so இது 3 alcohol இந்த மாதிரி தான் distinguish பண்ண முடியும். First one is tertiary alcohol, second one is so here first one is tertiary alcohol, they react immediately to form turbid solution, whereas secondary alcohols, they react to form tertiary alcohols, they form turbid solution, which is due to the formation of alkyl chloride, which is insoluble. Secondary alcohol, they react within 10 minutes to form turbid solution of alkyl chloride, whereas primary alcohols do not react with Lucas agent at room temperature. So equation you can see, so this is a tertiary alcohol which react with HCl in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride to form the product 2-chloro-2-methyl propane, where there is an immediate appearance of turbid solution. So here secondary alcohol, similarly they also react with Lucas agent to form 2-chloropropane, which is where there is a slow appearance of turbid solution. Third one is primary alcohol, which reacts with HCl in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, right? And there is no reaction of primary alcohol with Lucas agent at room temperature. So turbidity, it will appear only on heating. So there is no reaction of primary alcohol with Lucas agent. So this is the Lucas agent, Lucas test to distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. So next we are going to see the second test, Victor-Mays test. So it consists of 3 steps. Alcohols here are converted to alkyl iodide by treating with iodine and phosphorus. Second step, alkyl iodide so formed is treated with silver nitrite to form nitroalkane. Third step is nitroalkanes, they are finally treated with nitrous acid. So a mixture of sodium nitrate and HCl. So here the solution is made alkaline with potassium hydroxide. Nitroalkane, they are treated with nitrous acid, which is a mixture of sodium nitrate and HCl, and the resultant, the solution which we get is made alkaline with, finally they are made alkaline by treating with potassium hydroxide. So now we shall see the reactions of Victor-Mays test. So first one is primary alcohol treatment with phosphorus and iodine to form a ethyl iodide or iodoethane, again treated with silver nitrite to form nitroethane, and again treated with nitrous acid to form a particular oxime. So finally treatment that particular nitroxime treated with potassium hydroxide to form the red color compound, which is the methyl nitro compound, so which is found to be red in color. So coming to secondary alcohol, similarly they are also treated with phosphorus iodide, and then with silver nitrate, and finally with nitrous acid, and finally treated with potassium hydroxide. So yeah, so here after treating the previous product with nitrous, that is KOH potassium hydroxide, blue color is being obtained. So here in primary alcohol on treatment with potassium hydroxide forms red colored solution, whereas secondary alcohol form blue colored solution. So coming to the tertiary alcohol, so here they are also similarly treated with phosphorus iodine, with nitrous acid and a silver nitrate, nitrous acid, and finally with potassium hydroxide. And with nitrous acid itself, that is tertiary alcohol, they do not react. So yeah, with nitrous acid itself, there will be no reaction of tertiary alcohol. So yeah, so we have seen how to distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol by two tests. First one is Lucas test, second one is Victor-Mays test. Both the tests are very important tests. Distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol by Lucas test. Distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol by Victor-Mays test. Both are important 3-mark question. Next we are going to see elimination reactions of alcohol. So alcohols, when they are heated with dehydrating agent. So elimination reactions of alcohol. Alcohols, when they are heated with suitable dehydrating agent like sulfuric acid, the hydrogen and OH group present in the adjacent carbon are lost, and which results in the formation of carbon-carbon double bond. So here the alcohol, they are treated with dehydrating agent like sulfuric acid, which leads to the formation of an alkene. So as a result, alkene is formed, and hydrogen, oxygen, that is hydrogen OH present in carbon are lost, which result in the formation of carbon-carbon double bond, which is called alkene. So example ethanol. So ethanol treatment sulfuric acid and heating to 443 Kelvin forms ethylene. So this CH3CHOH is a primary alcohol. So primary alcohols undergo dehydration by E2 mechanism. They also undergo dehydration by E2 mechanism. So here ethanol on treatment with sulfuric acid. HOSO3H. So we have split H2SO4. So here what happens? There is a shift of hydrogen atom. So here CH3 is split CH2 H. Next one CH2, next one in there. So here there is a shift of hydrogen atom. So as a result, no hydrogen in the join. So what happens? There is a removal of water molecule. Water molecule remove on what will happen? There is a transfer of a bond between CH2 and hydrogen. As a result, what will happen? It leads to the formation of alkene. So primary alcohols undergo dehydration by E2 mechanism. So E2 mechanism, there will be a removal of water molecule and a formation of alkene. So similarly, tertiary alcohols, primary alcohols undergo E2 mechanism, whereas tertiary alcohols undergo dehydration by E1 mechanism. So here also we are going to see tertiary alcohol. Adhe mari da tertiary alcohol eduthukom. So they undergo dehydration by E1 mechanism. So here H2SO4. So similarly, sulfuric acid is the dehydrating agent here also. So again the same step. Tertiary alcohols, they are by E1 mechanism. We are seeing the E1 mechanism. So in E1 mechanism, it occurs by two steps. So first one will be the slow step and the second one will be the fast step. So E2 mechanism, there will be only, it occurs in single step where there is a removal of water and formation of a carbon-carbon double bond, which is called as alkene. So tertiary alcohols undergo dehydration by E1 mechanism. Here similar to that. So in step 1, oxonium ion is being formed. Dehydration reaction step 1 this is oxonium ion is being formed. In the step 2, there is dissociation of oxonium ion. In step 2, there is a dissociation of oxonium ion. So oxonium ion is nothing but O plus. So this is oxonium ion to form carbocation. So there is a removal of water molecule and the carbocation is being formed. Step 3 is deprotonation. That is, there is a shift of a bond attached to hydrogen where there is formation of alkene. So deprotonation of carbocation to form an alkene. So first step is dehydration to form the oxonium ion. Dehydration of that is tertiary alcohol in presence of dehydrating agent like sulfuric acid to form oxonium ion, where there is a transfer of hydrogen ion. Second step is dissociation of oxonium ion to form carbocation by the removal of water molecule. Third step is deprotonation of carbocation to form an alkene. Yeah. So these are the three steps which are involved in E1 mechanism of tertiary alcohol. So next we are going to see dehydration reaction. Always the order of reactivity வந்து எப்பவுமே tertiary greater இருக்கும். So primary order of reactivity for primary alcohol less than secondary alcohol, which in turn is less than tertiary alcohol. So next we are going to see Zaitsov rule. Next rule is what we are going to see, Zaitsov rule. So according to this particular rule, although there is a formation of alkene that leads to formation of alkene occurs in Zaitsov rule. One alkene is found to be the most preferred product, most substituted product or the most stable product which is obtained in the reaction. So this is based on the Zaitsov rule. So now I will explain the Zaitsov rule based on one example. So now let us see the dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane. So example for Zaitsov rule is the dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane. So this example is not given in a textbook. So if you want, you can refer this in your guide itself. So guide la irukum. So dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane. So here 2-bromobutane they undergo dehydrohalogenation. So dehydrohalogenation enadhu? So there will be addition of, that is a halogenation followed by removal of water. So that is called dehydrohalogenation, which leads to the formation of 2 alkene. One is 2-butene and the other one is 1-butene. So during the dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane, there will be 2 products which are formed, out of which 2-butene is the major product. So this based on Zaitsov rule, the alkene that contain less number of hydrogen atom on the double bonded carbon atom, they are the preferred product, or they are the major product, or they are the most substituted product obtained. So according to Zaitsov rule, out of the 2 alkene obtained, the alkene that has less number of hydrogen atom attached to the double bonded carbon atom is considered to be the most substituted or most major product. They will be obtained in larger amount. So that particular subject, that is a product, will be the most substituted or most major product in the reaction. So this is called Zaitsov rule. So according to Zaitsov rule, during the process halogenation of dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane la ஒன்று வந்து என்ன இருக்கும், ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து ஒரு அல்கீன் வந்து மோஸ்ட் சப்ஸ்டியூட்டட் ப்ராடக்டாக இருக்கும். அது எந்த சப்ஸ்டியூட்டட்னு எப்படி கண்டுபிடிக்கணும்? எந்த அல்கீனில் லெஸ் நம்பர் ஆஃப் ஹைட்ரஜன் ஆட்டம் கார்பன் டபுள் பாண்டோட அட்டாச் ஆயிருக்கோ அதான் மோஸ்ட் மேஜர் ப்ராடக்ட் அப்படின்னு லார்ஜர் அமௌண்ட்னு அர்த்தம். ஸோ இப்போ இதில் பாரு 2-butene தான் மேஜர் ப்ராடக்ட் சொல்கிறோம். ஏன்னா இந்த கார்பன் டபுளோட பாண்டோட அட்டாச் இருக்கிற நம்பர் ஆஃப் ஹைட்ரஜன் ஆட்டம் வந்து 4. இதில் பாரு கார்பன் டபுள் பாண்டில் அட்டாச் இருக்க ஹைட்ரஜன் ஆட்டம் வந்து 3, 5 ஹைட்ரஜன் ஆட்டம்ஸ் அட்டாச் இருக்குது கார்பன் டபுள் பாண்டோட. அப்போ இதில் வந்து நம்பர் ஆஃப் ஹைட்ரஜன் ஆட்டம்ஸ் லெஸ்ஸாக கார்பன் டபுள் பாண்டில் அட்டாச் ஆகிருக்கும். இங்கே வந்து 4, இங்கே 5. ஸோ திஸ் 2-butene is the most preferred or most major product obtained based on the Zaitsov rule. So next we shall see a dehydration of alcohol. So here butanol, they undergo dehydration. Dehydration is removal of water molecule. So dehydrohalogenation la enadhu removal of water molecule along with the halogenation, that is addition of halogen. So that is called as dehydrohalogenation. Next we are going to see dehydration. So here removal of water molecule alone. So primary alcohol they undergo dehydration, it gives 1-butene and 2-butene. So here which is the major product based on Zaitsov rule? This is another example. நம்ம முதல்ல பார்த்தது வந்து dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane பார்த்தோம். அதில் 2 ப்ராடக்ட் 2-butene, 1-butene. 2-butene the major product. ஏன்னா alkenes that contain less number of hydrogen atom attached to the carbon double bond, that will be the most major product or the most substituted product or more stable. சரியா, அதான் என்னது மேஜர் ப்ராடக்டாக இருக்கும். அதேமாதிரி செகண்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் பாரு, ஃபார் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் சைட்ஸ் ஆஃப் ரூல் when butanol undergoes dehydration it gives 1 butanol 2 butane. So here also major product is 2 butane because number of hydrogen atom alkene that contains less number of hydrogen atom attached to the carbon carbon double bond. Here பாரு எத்தனை hydrogen இருக்கு, 4. Yes, again 6 இருக்கு. So 6 hydrogen atoms are present. சரியா, so based on this number of hydrogen atom attached to the carbon carbon double bond in alkene வந்து less number of carbon hydrogen atoms, so alkenes that contains. So we have seen 2 examples for Zaitsov rule. So one is dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutene and the second example for Zaitsov rule is dehydration of alcohols. So a very important 3-mark question you may be asked, explain Zaitsov's rule with an example னு கேட்கலாம். சரியா, so it is an important 3-mark question. Explain Zaitsov rule with an example. So next one is oxidation reactions of alcohol. We are going to see oxidation reactions where the oxidation of primary alcohol give aldehyde, which on further oxidation gives carboxylic acid. So next one is ethanol. So here example is ethanol, which on oxidation with sodium dichromate gives ethanal, which is acetaldehyde, which is an aldehyde, which on further oxidation gives ethanoic acid. So IUPAC name is ethanoic acid, where the common name is acetic acid. So these all you should know. It may be asked in one word. So what happens in primary alcohols are that is you may be asked to complete the reaction. So oxidizing agent கொடுத்துருவாங்க. அப்போ ethyl alcohol இருந்து sodium dichromate oxidizing agent யூஸ் பண்ணினா you'll be getting an aldehyde, which on further oxidation gives an acid. So tertiary alcohols do not undergo oxidation reaction, but at higher temperature using strong oxidizing agent there is a cleavage and breakage of carbon carbon bond that takes place to give a mixture of carboxylic acid. So oxidation reactions may be asked in one word, இல்லைனா complete கொடுத்து oxidizing agent கொடுத்துருவாங்க, அதை பார்த்து வச்சுக்கோ. So next one is Swern oxidation. So here we make use of DMSO, which is called as dimethyl sulfoxide. So dimethyl sulfoxide, it acts as an oxidizing agent in this oxidation reaction, which is called Swern oxidation. So here alcohol is treated with oxidizing agent DMSO. DMSO is dimethyl sulfoxide. So dimethyl sulfoxide is used as an oxidizing agent where the alcohol is being oxidized using oxalyl chloride followed by addition of triethylamine. So here this is a alcohol, propyl alcohol, which is treated with DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, which acts as an oxidizing agent. Along with that we make use of oxalyl chloride and it is being heated with triethylamine. We get a ketone dimethyl sulfide with the evolution of gas carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and finally there is an amount of acid, hydrochloric acid left out. So here Swern oxidation nale, it is the oxidizing agent that converts alcohol to ketone. So இங்கே வந்து propanol is being converted to propanone. So DMSO is nothing but dimethyl sulfoxide. Dimethyl sulfoxide short என்ன சொல்லுவோம், DMSO. So it is treated with oxalyl chloride in presence of triethylamine to form propanone and with the evolution of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. சரியா, இது பார்த்து வச்சுக்கோ. important 2 marks. Write note on Swern oxidation கேட்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா ஒன் வேர்டில் கேட்கலாம். the name the oxidizing agent used in Swern oxidation கேட்டால் எழுதணும் DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. So next one is reactions of ethylene glycol. So ethylene glycol is one of the dihydric alcohol. Dihydric alkaline, there is alkaline, there will be 2 OH groups. So ethylene glycol treated with hydrogen iodide or phosphorus iodine, where 1,2-diiodoethane is first formed that decomposes to give ethene, which is called as ethylene. Ethene on heating with corn nitric acid in presence of corn sulfuric acid, ethylene glycol forms dinitroglycol. So these are the some of the reactions of ethylene glycol. Important reactions of ethylene glycol you have to go through. So ethylene glycol again CH2OH is called as ethylene glycol. On treatment with nitrating mixture. Nitrating mixture it's a mixture of nitric acid and sulfuric acid. We get dinitroglycol. So hydrogen atom is replaced by NO2 group. Abdina dinitroglycol. So அடுத்த dehydration reactions of ethylene glycol. So when you heat to 773 Kelvin, it forms epoxide, which is 1,2-epoxyethene. So 1,2-epoxyethene is called as oxirane. At the dehydration reaction, when heated with dilute sulfuric acid or anhydrous zinc chloride under pressure, it forms acetaldehyde. These are important reactions of ethylene glycol. The next one is ethylene glycol. On treatment with anhydrous zinc chloride, it forms an intermediate compound where there is a shift of bond from here to here, and as a result tautomerization takes place. So what is meant by tautomerization? There is a shift of the hydrogen atom from one particular linkage of the group to another area, that is another carbon containing group, which is called as tautomerization. So here there is a shift of bond or shift of hydrogen atom from one group to another linkage of the carbon atom. So here as a result we get ethanol, which is called as acetaldehyde. So when distilled with corn sulfuric acid, glycerol forms dioxane. This is also another important question. What happens when glycerol reacts with corn sulfuric acid? What happens when glycerol reacts with corn sulfuric acid? The product obtained is dioxane. So here there is a removal of water molecule. So two molecules of water are removed. And the product obtained is, so here glycerol heated with corn sulfuric acid. So two molecules of water are removed. Remaining product is 1,4-dioxane. So this is also important 2 mark question. What happens when glycerol is heated with corn sulfuric acid? Product is 1,4-dioxane. So next one, oxidation reactions of glycol. So here ethylene glycol, when it is oxidized, it forms glycolic aldehyde at the glycolic acid at the glyoxylic acid. They are the main products. So glyoxylic acid, further oxidation forms oxalic acid. So ethylene glycol on treatment with periodic acid forms formaldehyde. So it is important one word. Ethylene glycol on treatment with periodic acid gives formaldehyde. It is an important one word. So reaction of glycerol. So glycerol on treatment with nitrous acid in presence of corn sulfuric acid forms 1,2,3-trinitroxypropane. 1,2,3-trinitroxypropane. When glycerol is heated with dehydrating agent like corn sulfuric acid, potassium hydrogen sulfate, it forms acrolein. So these are all important 2 mark question. What happens when glycerol is heated with sulfuric acid in presence of potassium hydrogen bisulfate? Potassium hydrogen bisulfate. Product is prop-2-enol, which is called as acrolein. So next one is, so here there is a shift of hydrogen bond. So removal of water molecule. So there will be a shift of hydrogen bond. So what will happen? CH2 double bond. There is a shift of double bond here from CH2OH, and as a result there is a CH2 double bond CH. So here there is a removal of water molecule, and the remaining will be CH and CHO. So there will be 2 molecules of water which is eliminated to form the product acrolein. So next one is alcohols react with carboxylic acid in presence of acid to give ester, which is called as esterification reaction. It may be asked in 2 marks, very important 2 marks. What is esterification reactions? Alcohols react with carboxylic acid in presence of acid. So here ethanoic acid is the acid, which is also called as acetic acid. So acetic acid is the common name. So ethanol reacts with acetic acid to form ester. So here CH3 C double bond CH2 CH3. So here there is a removal of 1 water molecule. So 1 water molecule is being removed to form the ester. 1 water molecule is removed to form the ester. So far we have seen the important alcohols. We have seen the introduction about the alcohol, structure of the functional group. So how to distinguish primary, secondary, tertiary alcohol, and we have seen what is Saysav rule with the example we have seen, and we have seen the properties of alcohol, and we have seen preparation of alcohol and important reactions of glycerol, ethylene glycol, and we have seen what is hydroboration and oxidation reactions of alcohol, and finally we have seen esterification reaction. So this is the first video for unit 11 in hydroxy compounds. So already I have put video for ethers. So topic ether is also there in unit 11. Unit 11 la ether ங்கிற ஒரு டாபிக் இருக்கு. அது ether டாபிக் தான் முதல்ல முடிச்சிட்டேன். So this is the second video lesson in unit 11. So hope you refer to the focus guide. So watch the video carefully, fully, and then read all the question answers, study the question answer from the focus guide, and I want you to write all the book back question in topic ethers, and I want you to write and send to my WhatsApp number. So next week you have to write all the study and write all the book back question from the topic ether in unit 11, and then send to my number in WhatsApp. Yes, thank you.